Well, it was a postdoc to my PhD. That's why I came to UC Davis. Supposed to stay here for 18 months. Only. That was in 1999. Now it's 2013, we're still here. Came again to the country in 1999. We didn't really immigrate at that point, but then of course 9/11 happened in 2001, which definitely made the immigration process much more difficult. And it took us a long time to get there officially with an immigration lawyer, etc., etc. Well, after my postdoc I started my own lab at the university, did that for 7 years, and then I got another opportunity, started to work for a private company. That's what I'm doing now for 7 years, so that's the reason why we're still here. And of course all our kids grew up here. Ian was born here, and the more reason to stay here.
Until 1917, German and English was the main language offered in public schools.
In present day, 16% of the American population is made up of Latinos and 9.7% is made up of Asians. Therefore, the U.S. concentrates mainly on the majority of immigrants and fails to realize the minority of immigrants.
There wasn't really an option because there are no German immersion schools. There is a Spanish one. Right. Well, that wasn't an option for us. That would have meant that our kids would have had to learn another language, so we didn't want that. I guess if there would have been a German public school, we would have considered it.
I think it's an advantage for, in the long term, to be fluent in at least 2 languages. In Switzerland, we grow up, are fluent in 3 languages because it's important. So there are so many languages in Europe, we have to know languages to get around. And today, even for young people growing up in the United States, it's important because it allows them to go and work in different places. So it increases your options down the road. You're more flexible, can take opportunities nobody else or not many other people could take. Well, we learned English at school in Switzerland very early on. At my time in 5th grade, I had it all the way through high school, all the way through college, and English is the scientific language anyway, so it wasn't really big adaptation for me.
What I also find is it was hard to talk German if there was anybody else around. It seems to be rude, and it is looked at like as if you were talking about the particular person. So we started talking English within the family more as the kids grew older. So I think that's a problem when you want to keep up your own language, because everybody's influenced so much by the spoken language in the country that you will eventually lose your language that you like. German, we would eventually lose that.
Well, of course, some of the holidays are different in Switzerland than they are here, but many holidays are very similar. I would say the majority of the holidays are very similar, right? Mm-hmm. Halloween in Switzerland is celebrated too, or Thanksgiving, maybe not so much, but we know about Thanksgiving in Switzerland too, and then almost everything else is very similar. Of course, there are some specific American holidays which we don't have. It's important to endorse and celebrate the holidays from countries which are your neighbors, because that's where you normally have the most people living in your country, so it makes sense to have Mexican holidays and
You can't celebrate
Asian
every
holidays.
holiday.
No, you can't, definitely not. But it makes sense that these type of holidays are being upheld.
I think if they want to bring the holiday into the school, like the Mexican population, I'm okay with that, but it can't be an official holiday. Otherwise, you know, you would be discriminating towards the Europeans because we're not right there, but we're also here in this country. The difficult part was in the whole process of the last 14 years was to be leaving your family back home.
Yes.
It always is the hardest part.
Leave the social network behind.
Well, I wouldn't say that we will be here for our whole lives, like, because you can never say that for anything, because you don't know. But it became my home country, for sure. And that's how I feel when I go back home, home, that I would not want to live back there anymore. So I'm more happy to come here and have my... It would kind of like be a little bit of a nightmare to think about going back because we love it here. But just the fact that we would have our families back and all our cousins and all our aunts and uncles and parents that are still alive, we would probably have to consider it.
Through their many struggles, they still pulled out to be the strong person they are today to represent our hard-working country.
Without the struggles of many immigrants today, maybe we wouldn't have certain rights that we have now.
In the end, immigrants still travel to America today, eventually creating a big melting pot of nationalities in America.
Immigrants also provided many benefits for the country.
Okay, for example, we are all diverse in our own ways. I'm Mexican.
I am Syrian.
I'm Swiss.
I'm Portuguese.
Switzerland is the most highly developed country in technology and is constantly making new innovations in science and technology.
Syrians hold high regard for family and religion, and their healthy diets have been incorporated into the U.S. culture.
The Portuguese are known for their love of wine, which explains port wine, hence Portugal. Also, they're very appreciative of arts like painting, dance, and sculpting. They also even invented the ukulele.
With Mexican immigrants, we have provided for America Mexican food like tacos, burritos, and other delicious and wonderful things like tequila. Immigrants bring diversity to the U.S. that enhances America today. Other cultures give our country a sense of nationality because it allows us to be a part of the beauty of their culture.